Coming up on ATV News.
The windows of this laundromat blew out yesterday, and it could be from something you do. You see garbage near the Bear River all the time. Why it's worse than just an eyesore.
Could something like this be what's standing between Tim Duryea and $279,000? We'll tell you in sports.
Last week you saw wind, rain, sun, and snow. I'll show you what spring's bringing this week in weather.
All that and more, this is ATV News.
I was doing my laundry, and suddenly I sounded like a bomb.
Some people say not to put oily rags in a washer. This Logan laundromat explosion is why.
Welcome to ATV News. I'm Chaz Ricks.
And I'm Sarah Murphy. And we have Shani Howard here with us to tell us more about the laundromat explosion. Shani, you were there. Tell us a little bit about it.
Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, I was talking to the guy after the explosion. He could have been responsible for it, but witnesses say he came in to do his laundry just like everyone else, except for his clothes had gasoline on them. Firefighters say the explosion was caused when this man washed a shirt he had soaked in gasoline the night before at the day and night laundromat. As the washing machine started its cycle, gasoline vapors from the clothing filled the room and shortly afterwards found an ignition source in the back of the laundromat. Customers who were in the building say they are still pretty rattled.
I was really scared. I'm still shaking.
Although the explosion happened in the back, it blew out this 6 by 10 foot window, which was made of some pretty thick glass.
We do have a new flavor, and it's huckleberry, and it's been my favorite.
A cashier who was working next door said the explosion was big enough she could hear it from inside her store.
All of a sudden I hear like a big crash boom sound, and it sounded like it was from out back, like this door.
Firefighters advise anyone who gets tar on their clothing to
Throw them away. That's what I would recommend.
Police say the man who caused the explosion could be facing charges for the incident. Back to you,
Thanks,
Sarah.
Shani. Thanks, Shani.
USU President Noelle Cockett just emailed out changes to the Title IX office. Her email says Scott Bodley will be interim Title IX coordinator until the position is filled. The email does not specify if anyone in the Title IX office was fired. Republicans are gearing up for this Saturday's state convention. Senate and House candidates running for both local and federal government seats visited Cache Valley last weekend for the county convention. ATV's Aaron Cox went to show you who's running.
Voting signs up, county delegates signed in, and candidates not signing out of office without running one more time. Saturday's convention brought old, new, federal, and state candidates together.
I'm running for the U.S. Senate. This is amazing. This is I had no idea I was going to like the caucus process so much.
It's a system that I believe in because it allows citizens to run for office.
And running for the Republicans.
A guy named who?
No, Mitt Romney isn't the only candidate.
Applause for all of the delegates.
I'm running for my neighbors and for the people of Utah. I'm not running against Mitt Romney.
I wanted to give Utah a clear choice of a limited government, liberty-minded, conservative person to represent them in the Senate.
Red is as good as they come.
Choices for Cache County Council and offices were also voted on. With more than 80% attendance from local county delegates, candidates say the convention was another success for democracy.
Americans take care of each other. They care about what's important. It's so inspiring to see the thousands of people that take this responsibility seriously to put forward good candidates for good government.
Aaron Cox, ATV News.
Both Republican and Democrat state conventions will be held this Saturday.
Last night, the Logan City Council discussed and passed a couple of new resolutions and ordinances, and ATV's Taylor Emerson shows you what that could mean for you.
We'll take a vote. Roll call. Tom.
On a unanimous decision.
Yes.
Amy.
Yes.
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 Jeannie, yes. Thank you.
The Logan City Council passed 2 resolutions on Tuesday night, both dealing with city code enforcement.
It's not a simple matter.
First, the council approved an increase for the over-occupancy fee from $50 to $250.
That impacts the people that we talk to on a daily basis, that we walk to the grocery store and we talk to and we chat with when we're getting our mail.
They've also changed the enforcement system from complaint-based to review-based and approved a hiring of a new employee to conduct inspections of the individual neighborhoods and homes.
I think those are efforts that a responsible leadership should be looking at and should be taking steps to address.
But neither proposals came without pushback.
It is not uncommon at all to hear of a group of students who can't wait to move away from here. Taxing them for occupying attractive housing options will only push them out faster.
I've heard stories of people who have inspectors come and they have to basically tear apart a bedroom and pretend that it doesn't exist.
Mayor Holly Daines, who proposed this plan, says this will ultimately help Logan's neighborhoods.
If we have stronger neighborhoods, we have a stronger tax base, we have a stronger downtown, and it just benefits our city.
Taylor Emerson, ATV News.
Taylor also tells us the council approved a change to the vacancy laws requiring buildings to be registered, then an escalating fee is attached.
Spring and summer fishing is starting up, and I went for the first time this year. Though I didn't catch any fish, I was shocked at what I found. Walking the banks of the Bear River this week, there wasn't a spot without litter. There were cans of worms, water bottles, and empty sports drinks, even a diaper, and beer can after beer can. It made me wonder, what is this doing to the environment? I visited with Brett Roper, a fishery biologist who says littering can cause problems for everyone.
At some point, the people that own those land will start caring and then sort of eliminate access to those places. And again, you know, they do cause ecological and environmental problems.
Besides the poor environmental impacts, Roper says that it's hard to enjoy activities like fishing when you're surrounded by garbage. So what can you do to stop the littering?
I asked these young scouts playing volleyball what proper outdoor manners are.
Leave no trace.
Leave no trace, right?
Leave no trace.
To take it all out, you gotta clean it up, and you just gotta act like nothing happened. You go to a place and make it look like you weren't even there.
It means that if you make a mess, then you clean it up, and if somebody else left a mess, then you clean that up too. It's not that hard.
Scouts say if you pack it in, you pack it out, and throw it in the garbage when you can find one. If you plan on spending time outdoors, take a garbage bag to put all your garbage in and dispose of it properly.
When we come back, one of Cache Valley's trails is starting some controversy. We'll tell you which one and why.
With great power comes great responsibility. We'll show you what power these goats have coming up.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
Hey everybody! Heart disease affects 1 in every 3 women in America, but you can fight back. There's no time to lose. Mothers, sisters, daughters, families, and friends, it's time to shout louder, stand stronger, and demand change. Let's go!
To the Batmobile! Dang it.
To the invisible jet!
Dang it.
Together, we can put an end to heart disease. It's time to go red for women. I could use your help. Yeah! Learn more from the American Heart Association at www.goredforwomen.org.
Come and try the strength and conditioning class. Train like an athlete.
Welcome back. Have you ever experienced any problems while biking or hiking through Green Canyon? It might be because the trail is too narrow, but it could also be you're not using proper etiquette.
Of all the trails in Logan, Green Canyon is a favorite of the local bikers, but some people have pointed out that its lack of space is causing problems.
Every time they start approaching a corner, they could just yell like corner. So just everyone, like even other bikers coming up on them can know too. So maybe it's just like everybody should just try like communicating a little bit more on those dangerous spots.
Some have argued.
On other bike trails around town, there's a two-way path, like this. But in Green Canyon, there's only enough room for one, so it looks more like this.
But some bikers have argued the opposite, saying it's not the trail that's the problem, it's the way people are riding.
Trail etiquette is the answer for people who think that Green Canyon is too narrow of a trail.
Although the U.S. Forest Service advises mountain bikers to yield of right-of-way to other trail users,
Cyclists should yield to hikers. That is the law. But when possible, in practice, it's more convenient often for hikers to yield to cyclists. It's a lot easier to just step to the side of the trail than for a cyclist to dismount off.
Trails such as the Corner Canyon Trail in Draper and the Wild Rose Trail in North Salt Lake have adopted a one-way uphill and one-way downhill system. And if Cache Valley were to adopt this system too,
my number one suggestion would be Providence Canyon, because that's where cyclists who look for a trail like that go to ride in Cache Valley.
Yasmin Aguirre, ATV News.
Sarah, do you ever do any mountain biking?
You know, Chess, I can't say that I ever have, but what about you?
You know, I did one time when I was about 15 years old, and I crashed 7 times going down the hill. So I've tried to just stick to running and hiking.
That is unfortunate. Hopefully your coordination skills have improved.
Yes.
There are a few ways you can help spot a stroke happening to a friend, a family member, or even yourself. These people are gathered for the 3rd annual 5K for RJ that happened at Utah State on Saturday. They raced around the Taggart Student Center a couple times to show support for the family of RJ, who lost his life to a stroke a few years ago. The race, put together by his brother, was created so that people can become familiar with the symptoms of a stroke. The American Stroke Association has come up with an acronym for those symptoms and what steps to take after recognizing them. FAST stands for face drooping, arm weakness, slurred speech, and it's time to call 911.
If you have any of those symptoms, it's much better to get them to the hospital as soon as possible and save all of the damage that could be done by a stroke. So every minute counts when a stroke is happening.
He says anyone at any age can have a stroke, so it's important to be prepared. USU researchers have worked with spiders in the past to develop products made with spider silk. Now researchers are using other animals to develop the same spider silk.
They're being nervous.
This goat may look like a normal farm animal, but it has a superpower. It makes spider silk. The goats look and act like other goats. The only difference is there's one extra protein in their milk. Savannah Callahan spends hours with the goats every week. She says she gets interesting questions from the people who ask about her job.
Oh, can they jump really high? Are they like spider-like? And it's like, no.
These goats may not be shooting spider webs, but they are making spider silk.
Can't use spiders. They're territorial, they're cannibalistic, you can't really grow them well.
But the goat milk is easy to work with.
So we purify that protein, and then we spin fibers or make gels or coatings or whatever else we want from that. So they're amazingly productive.
Lewis is working on creating more spider silk using bacteria.
We can produce more protein from the bacteria, but still end up with a much larger kind of a protein, which we know makes for stronger fibers.
Now breakthroughs with silkworms are making the process easier for researchers.
We now have some silkworms that are making fibers that are as good as spiders make.
The spider silk is used to make things like gels and adhesives. Now researchers are taking the silk a step further.
So basically this thing gets knit all as one piece. We see this as another sort of major step forward.
Bronson Tykert, ATV News.
Utah State is starting research on a military project that would replace nylon with spider silk as a safer alternative material.
You know how hard it is to move from one house to another, but could you imagine moving all the time? One local organization is helping make the move easier for foster kids. Students here at Utah State University are writing letters of encouragement for foster care children in Utah. The local nonprofit charity, Little Lambs, will take these brightly colored cards and place them in comfort packages for children who move from home to home. One volunteer says when a foster child moves, they typically aren't able to take much with them.
So when these kids are in this new situation, they have some words of motivation to keep them going.
According to Little Lambs, there are roughly 700 children from northern Utah in the foster care system. Thurston says by taking 30 seconds to write a letter to a child, it makes the transition for them easier and provides them with hope for the future. The comfort kits are given to newborns and children up to 17 years old.
And when we come back, ATV's Alex Zellner will have your Cache Valley weather report.
The current temperature is 58 degrees.
I should have said something.
I took the pledge because we are not our stereotype.
I took the pledge to make this campus safer.
I took the pledge because it's on us.
I took the pledge because love shouldn't hurt.
I took the pledge because this is a conversation that must be had.
13% of college women reported they were forced to have sex by a dating partner.
On average, 24 people per minute are victims of rape, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner.
1 in 3 women in Utah experience intimate partner violence.
Since 2000, more than 40% of adult homicides were domestic violence related.
Join us. Take the pledge.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Welcome back. We have Alex Zellner here with us to tell us what's going on with the weather this week.
Yeah, Alex, please tell us that these blustery days are over and we're just going to see a lot of sunshine.
We are. We're going to see some sunshine, guys. Yes. We actually might have a little bit of rain, but it looks like we got some sun coming in for spring and some good weather.
Awesome.
Let's see what's going on in the rest of the country, though. So as you can see, there is a bit of a storm going on in the Midwest. We do have some showers hitting the Illinois, Michigan, Iowa area, but that isn't going to impact us too much. But if you are planning on traveling there or have family there, there actually is a little bit of snow happening, so tell them to be safe. But it should clear out soon because we are starting to see kind of a spring weather surge going through the entire United States. We do have a little bit of weather going on down in the coast by Texas and in Louisiana. Not much up by the East Coast, but over on the West Coast, we do have some showers in California. That could begin to impact us, but not too much. They are starting to move a little bit northeast, but at least in the coming days, we should see some sunshine. We aren't going to see rain up until maybe the next week, not until this weekend, but let's check out our local. As you can see, there isn't any current weather going on in the state of Utah. We do have some wind, though, that has been impacting us for the last couple days. That could continue, but from what we know so far, and of course it is spring, so that could change, there will be some showers coming up. As you can see, there is a little bit of precipitation coming in towards us from the Idaho area, but that shouldn't hit us till later in the week or potentially next week. So you can look forward to sunshine, maybe a little bit of wind, but for the most part, some spring weather. Let's check out our 7-day. As you can see today, we had a high of 56 and a low of 36, but we beat it. We had a high of 58 today. Thursday, we have a high of 62 and a low of 41. Starting to get more comfortable, should see some clouds. Friday, there is a 20% chance of rain, but a high of 63 and a low of 37. Saturday and Sunday, you should have some lovely weather, 66 degrees and 68 on Sunday with lows of 41 and 42. Off into Monday, we do have a 20% chance of rain, a low of 60, or a high of 64 and a low of 39, and we have a high of 65 and a low of 38 on Tuesday.
Awesome. That weather kind of just snuck up and hit us with good weather.
Hey
huh?
man, spring is here, finally. Hopefully it doesn't snow again.
Yeah,
Could
no
happen
more
though, it's
snow.
Utah.
And since spring is here, Brady, tell us what's going on with our spring sports.
Yeah, actually, our track and field hosted their first home meet of the season. How they did coming up, and a typo could cost a former coach thousands of dollars. All this in sports.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
No doubt you're going places, young lady.
Thank you. And thank you for the interview as well. I can imagine it was the last thing that you wanted to do after such a long campaign meeting.
You really are a very intelligent young woman. You're very smooth.
You're very smooth yourself.
You have no idea.
Hey, welcome back, guys. You're watching the best televised YouTube sports page USU has to offer. I'm Brendan Clark, and this is ATV Sports. How mad would you be if you were potentially going to lose out on hundreds of thousands of dollars all because of a typo? That's what could happen to former USU men's basketball coach Tim Duryea. According to Tim's wife, Angie, he could be losing $279,000, so pocket change basically, all thanks to a misplaced number on his contract. Angie says the contract was supposed to be a 5-year deal, but the contract was set to end a year prior to what was originally agreed upon. There's yet to be any response from the university, and Angie Duryea says the only people who will talk to her are the university lawyers. After splitting the first 2 games, the Aggies look to take the series against Colorado State Rams on Sunday. The Rams got the early lead on the Aggies, getting a sac fly and this homer over center field from Donaldson. The Aggies struck back with this 2-run home run from Buttercavalli, her 8th of the year, in the 3rd inning. Colorado State's Buchanan got a double and drove in 2 more runs, giving the Rams back the lead. This one went back and forth for a couple of innings. The Aggies strike back in the bottom of the 4th with another 2-run home run from Plogger. That was her 7th of the year, actually. The lead wouldn't last because CSU's Klein got this single and drove in 2 runs. That's the straw that would break the metaphorical back of USU. They wouldn't lead again in this one. The Rams add 1 more run in the top of the 6th. The Rams take down the Aggies 6-4. The Aggies drop to 14 and 25 on the season. The Aggies are playing right now against Utah Valley. Our track and field competed in front of a home crowd for the first time this season. They came home with 13 victories over the weekend, including a sweep in distance races on the women's side. Our women's shot put team, who ranked #1 in the country, placed 1st, 2nd, and 4th place of the top 5. Bren Flint placed with her throw of 16 meters, Olivia Morricone with 15.6, Maya Guerin with 13.75. You need someone to jump your fence? Sam Nelson is the guy, as he placed 1st in the men's pole vault with a vault of 5.17 meters. And to round us off, Logan Fry took the top spot in the high jump and the long jump.
I felt really good going in long jump this morning. I was just kind of tired. It was early in the morning, and then it just took a little bit longer to start jumping. So that started feeling good. And then I wasn't supposed to high jump originally, but I mean, once I was feeling good about long jump, I was like, hey, might as well give high jump a try, and then it worked out really well.
The track and field is back in action at 3 events this week. Our men's tennis team bested the Air Force Falcons 4-2, which clinched their 3rd Mountain West Conference title in a row. They also finished undefeated in conference play, first time in program history. And our women's tennis team beat the New Mexico Lobos 4-3 for the first time in their history. They will also compete with Boise State for the conference title on Saturday. Good luck, Aggies. And you're all caught up with sports. And guys, I have to talk about it a little bit. We have a really successful track team. They're doing really well this year. One of the top teams in the entire country.
It is unfortunate about softball and their loss, but yeah, track team's doing so well at the very beginning of the season. That is exciting news.
Yeah, they're doing awesome. Their women's team sounds like they do so many events, like the shot put and the javelin, and it's crazy how well they're doing.
Well, thank you, Braden. And when we come back, we'll tell you why these students were only using one hand to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
One simple game could win you a lot of money. Coming
NFC,
up, we'll tell you how you can play.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Thanks for staying with us. Have you ever tried to make a sandwich using only one hand? Well, a veteran on campus wants students to raise awareness for the Wounded Warriors program. He challenged them to make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches using only one hand. The program is a non-profit that gives prosthetics to soldiers who lose a limb in combat. Student veteran Jeff Buckman wanted students to get a feel for the life of soldiers without a limb.
It was really difficult to hold the plate with your leg and smooth around all the peanut butter and stuff.
All of the proceeds from the event went directly to the Wounded Warriors project.
The Cache Valley Fun Park turns 20 this year, and they're celebrating the anniversary all week long. Last night, the Fun Park hosted a bowling tournament that brought those who were taking it seriously and not so seriously out to celebrate the Fun Park birthday. There was also a billiards tournament that brought pool players, both young and old. Whatever it is that brings you to the Fun Park, there's probably something for you this week. Tonight there will be skating with special guests, and Thursday there will be a carnival with food and prizes available for everyone. The Fun Park says they are grateful for the support they get from the community and are glad that they can give back.
We appreciate everybody in the community supporting us. This is a great place for family, young and old, to have fun and enjoy themselves, and we appreciate everyone coming and supporting us.
The events will be held today and tomorrow from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Fun Park. There's a rock out there, and if you find it, you can get $1,000, but only if you pay $10 to look for it. Let me tell you about it. These men and some of their friends are trying to start a new tradition called Aggie Rock. The purpose of the game is to watch for clues on social media and then go around Logan in search of the rock. They say the first person to find it will win $1,000, but only if they bought a $10 wristband from Baked.
It's an exciting energy that you're in search of a rock. It's very simple, it's very basic, and anyone can find it.
Takao says he wanted to not only start a new tradition, but also be able to give one lucky person a chance to win money to help them with financial burdens such as school.
Well, thank you for joining us on this edition of ATV News.
And you can find all of our latest editions of ATV News on our Facebook page.
Have a great week, Aggies.
We'll leave you with some fun shots of springtime on Utah's Capitol Hill.